Hi, this is Justin Madders with my regular video report back. It's been, shall we say, a pretty interesting couple of weeks all around the budget and the Chancellor George Osborne's machinations, which have left things looking pretty isolated. Well, it all kicked off on the budget day itself on the 16th of March when we had the excitement of the sugar tax, more reductions in income tax for certain people, but within 48 hours the wheels were coming off, as they tend to do with these things. No one can reduce borrowing, reduce taxes and increase spending at the same time. It wasn't the sort of budget that was designed to set us on a course for the rest of the Parliament. It was a budget designed to get George Osborne over the finishing line for the Conservative leadership election. But it looks like he's blown that now. He's been too clever by half. What he's tried to do, no one bought, and it didn't stack up. And we had the remarkable situation of a senior member of the Cabinet, Ian Duncan-Smith, resigning within 2 days of the budget coming out, saying he couldn't, in all conscience, support further cuts to disability payments with the personal independence payments. Now, this is coming from the man who introduced the bedroom tax, so we know it must be pretty serious. And by the time the budget was voted on the following week, the Conservatives have backed out on 3 elements of the budget, and I've never known a budget fall apart so quickly. I've never known a senior cabinet member resign over a part of the budget. So George Osborne's short-term planning in terms of getting himself into pole position for the Conservative leader looks to have backfired spectacularly. But what does this mean for Ellesmere Port and Neston? I'm afraid there wasn't a lot of great news in there. There was nothing about tackling the chronic underfunding in the NHS, nothing about doing something about the underfunding in social care or local government, nothing about some of the major infrastructure projects that we want to see in this area. For example, nothing about the M56, nothing about sorting out our rail services over in Neston. It was a pretty disappointing budget from that point of view. The only glimmer of light was really the proposals in relation to business rates, which we haven't seen in detail yet, but if they are as George Osborne claims they are, which obviously carries a significant health warning, then it could see a significant number of small businesses in the area no longer paying any business rates. Now, that's little consolation to them at the moment, because they've all just been given massively increased bills for the next year of up to 1,500 quid extra, because a little scheme he had in just before the last election has run out now, and the new scheme of reform of business rates isn't due to come in for a couple of years. But assuming that local businesses can ride that out over the next couple of years, what we're looking at is potentially a very important part of creating a much more level playing field for businesses in this country. How can the high street shop or cafe compete with the likes of Amazon when Amazon hardly pay anything in terms of contributions to the Exchequer? Now, as I say, the details yet to be worked out, and the real concern I've got, which we'll have to see when we know the full facts, is that it's going to coincide with the time when local authorities will take all the proceeds of business rates, and that's about the government basically saying you can raise and collect what you want locally, we will not pay you anything centrally. But if they're doing that at the same time as taking away their ability to raise revenue off small businesses, it's going to actually look like another cut to local government. So we've got to keep our eye on that one, and I think it's fair to say the Chancellor's got form on this, and he's going to have to do something pretty drastic now to have any chance of succeeding David Cameron as Prime Minister. So all in all, a pretty lively couple of weeks, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.